That light back there is over the oven light. So
Hello, my name is Matthew Abbott, and today I'll be talking about Norse mythology and Marvel's representation of it, whether or not it's accurate. So to start off, I'll just talk about the three most popular characters, Odin, Thor, and Loki, and their relation with Marvel. So we'll start off with Thor, who surprisingly is the most boring out of the three. In Marvel, he's portrayed by Chris Hemsworth. He's got long, blonde flowing hair. He's very masculine, Viking armor, kind of a meathead, and that's very accurate to Norse mythology, save the physical appearance. In Norse mythology, Thor is very boisterous and meat-headed-like, but he has red hair instead of blonde hair. He's also known for being pulled by a chariot of rams, but other than that, Thor is very accurate to the movies and Norse mythology. Odin is really, out of the three, the only one not portrayed super well. In the movies, he is a fatherly type figure. He's shown as soft, compassionate, a king, but in Norse mythology, he's a lot more warmongering and mean, really. Not quite a father, but a king. Loki overall is, out of the three, very well represented in the Marvel movies. He's charming, trickery. His physical appearance is very accurate. The energy he gives off and just everything about him is very accurate for mythology. But not quite the things that he does. His motivations are the same, but the way he goes about them are not. So a little tale about each character. We'll start with Thor again. Thor is this big, massive hulking of a man in Norse mythology. He's Asgard's last weapon, the first shield and the last sword. But because he's more of a background character, more of a meathead, he doesn't see a lot of storytelling in Norse culture. But one of the ones that's passed down and is with us today is the time that Mjolnir, the hammer, gets stolen and buried deep underground by a giant. To get Mjolnir back, he has to go to the frost giants and he has to deliver Freya, a beautiful god, as a gift for a bride. But the gods don't like that, so Thor himself dresses up as the bride in a white gown with a veil and lots of jewelry and attends the wedding in Freya's place. The giants, not being very smart, fall for this and ends up getting married to Thor. Upon wedded, Thor takes the hammer and knocks off the giant's head and kills everyone at the party. And it's pretty grotesque, but it just kind of shows how dumb Thor is. He kind of just does what he wants. Odin is the all-father in the Norse culture. He's the god in his own universe. But a lot of people don't understand how he attained that. Odin, in the beginning, he searched for the well of knowledge, and to Mimir, the guardian of the well, he offered his eye so that he could drink from the well. He drank from the well and learned all. But the thing he didn't learn were the runes, or the language of the universe, basically. So he stabbed himself in the side and then hung from a tree for 9 nights and 9 days to sacrifice himself to himself, basically, according to Norse culture. And on the 9th night, he perceived the runes. All of the things that Odin does is in practice with Sadir, or fate telling, fate manipulation. He was kind of like a shaman in Norse culture, which is really interesting because in Norse culture, to be a Sadir, you had to be a woman. So for a guy to be a Sadir was very looked down upon, very scorned. Like if Odin had been like an actual person and lived in Norway, he would have been cast out of society as a freak because he practiced fate telling, which was a very feminine thing. Loki is in absolutely every story pretty much in Norse culture. He's very tricky and he just likes to cause chaos. So to give an example on that, I won't even talk about Loki himself, but his 5 kids and their relationship to the Norse culture. So you have the first 3 kids born to a giant. You have Hel, the goddess of death. You have Jormungand, the Midgard serpent, a giant snake who just wraps around all of Earth, basically. And then you have Fenrir, a giant wolf. The wolf is destined to kill Odin and swallow the moon. The serpent to kill Thor, and Hel just kind of lives on in hell. You have the 4th kid, an 8-legged horse, who is his own incredibly complicated story. But the 8-legged horse is not born to someone else, it's born to Loki himself, which is very confusing. But to save the day, he has to have an 8-legged horse. And the 5th one is his youngest son, Nitri, is a completely normal god, but he has the most tragic fate of all because he is killed to right his father's wrongs. He's killed, and his entrails are used as chains to bind Loki until end of all time. So it's very, very sad. But the point is to show that each character is not a lot like what Marvel's portrayed. So I encourage everyone to read about it because it's very interesting. A bit convoluted because a lot of it is lost over time, but Norse mythology is very interesting, and it's another way to learn about a culture that is not our own. That is all. Thank you.